Lieutenant John Baker stared at his communication console aboard the Earth vessel Pathfinder *. The strange signal pulsed again, its pattern unlike anything in their database. "Captain Murphy," he called out, "I'm picking up what seems to be a distress signal." Captain Kate Murphy approached his station, her eyes narrowing as she studied the waveform on his screen. "Can you pinpoint the source?" "Yes, ma'am. It's coming from Sector 7, about half a light hour from our position." Murphy nodded. "Plot a course, Lieutenant. We should investigate." The Pathfinder * changed direction, its powerful engines pushing it through the blackness of space toward the unknown signal. The bridge crew worked in focused silence. This was the third year of humanity's deep space exploration program, and while they had discovered signs of alien civilizations, they had yet to make direct contact. 4 hours later, they arrived at the signal's origin. "Sensors detecting a vessel," announced Officer Emma Grant. "Unknown configuration. It appears damaged." Through the main view screen, they could see a sleek, silver ship drifting slowly. Its hull was scared with what looked like weapons fire, and one section was venting gas into space. "Life signs?" Murphy asked. "Yes," Grant replied, "but nothing matching known patterns." Murphy straightened her uniform. "This could be it. People. First contact. Baker, open a channel and transmit the standard greeting package." Baker's fingers flew over his console. The greeting package, a series of mathematical sequences, simple imagery, and basic language primers, had been designed by Earth's best linguists and scientists for this exact scenario. "Transmitting now," he said. Minutes passed. Then, to everyone's surprise, a response came. "They're sending something back," Baker announced. It's a mathematical sequence. They understood our prime number sequence and are continuing it." Murphy smiled. "Open a visual channel if possible." The view screen flickered, and an alien face appeared. The being had smooth, bluish skin, large eyes with vertical pupils, and no visible nose. What looked like fine tendrils framed its face, gently moving as if in water. "This is Captain Kate Murphy of the Earth vessel Pathfinder *, Murphy said clearly. "We received your distress signal and offer assistance." The alien tilted its head, the tendrils rippling. After a moment, it made a series of clicking sounds. Baker studied his translation algorithms. I think they're trying to communicate, Captain. The computer needs more data to establish a translation baseline." "Keep talking to them, Baker," Murphy ordered. "See if you can establish basic communication while we prepare a boarding party to help with repairs." Over the next hour, Baker spoke with the alien, who identified itself as Zeltor of the Viridian Collective. Through a combination of mathematical concepts, simple drawings shared through the computer, and repeated phrases, they began to form a rudimentary understanding. They were attacked by another species, Baker reported. "Something called the Gora. Their propulsion system is damaged, and they can't return to their territory." "Tell them we'll help," Murphy said. The boarding party, led by Chief Engineer Sam Rodriguez, crossed to the alien vessel. The Viridians watched them with what seemed like caution, but allowed them to access the damaged systems. As the repairs progressed, Baker continued developing the translation program, speaking directly with Zeltor. The more they talked, the more detailed their communication became. But something strange was happening. Zeltor began to tremble slightly during their conversations, and other Viridians would pull him away periodically. "Is everything okay?" Baker asked after the third such interruption. Zeltor's tendrils flattened against his head. "Yes. Different. Physiology. Talking. Difficult." Baker assumed it was physical strain from speaking an unfamiliar language and continued more slowly. After 6 hours, Rodriguez reported the repairs were complete. "Their drive should get them home now," he said as the team returned to the Pathfinder *. The Viridian captain made what seemed like a gesture of thanks. Then, without warning, All Viridians retreated into their ship. The airlock sealed. "What's happening?" Murphy demanded. Before anyone could respond, the Viridian ship powered up and moved away rapidly. "They're leaving," Baker said, confused, without even saying goodbye. What the humans couldn't see was Zell-Tor collapsing on the Viridian bridge, his mind fractured by the simple conversations with Baker, his neural pathways overloaded by something the humans had no idea they were projecting with each word they spoke. 6 months had passed since the strange encounter with the Viridian ship. Humanity had made contact with several other alien species and established formal diplomatic relations. The galaxy, it seemed, was full of life. Commander Susan Wells straightened her dress uniform as she prepared to enter the grand meeting hall of the Arcturian Alliance Station. As Earth's representative at this important summit, she carried the hopes of humanity on her shoulders. "Remember, just follow protocol and be respectful," said her aide, Carl Bennett. "Most of these species have been dealing with each other for centuries." Wells nodded and stepped through the large doorway into a room filled with beings of all shapes and sizes. Some floated in special tanks, others stood on multiple legs, and a few seemed to shift form as she watched. The universal translators clipped to their uniforms hummed softly, processing the dozens of languages being spoken. As Wells moved through the crowd, she noticed many aliens turning to look at her, then quickly looking away when she made eye contact. A few stepped back as she approached, creating an unusual bubble of space around her. "They act like they're afraid of us," she whispered to Bennett. "But we're the newcomers here." Before Bennett could respond, a small, hunched figure approached them. The alien had gray, leathery skin and 3 large eyes that blinked independently of each other. According to Wells' briefing materials, this was a representative of the Mekthar Dominion, one of the oldest civilizations in this sector. "Human diplomat," the Mekthar said through the translator. Its voice sounded old and tired. "I must speak with you, privately." Wells glanced at Bennett, then nodded. "Of course." The Mekthar led her to a quiet alcove away from the main crowd. Its 3 eyes checked to ensure no one was listening. "You must prepare your people," it said without preamble. "The Gora Imperium has taken notice of your species." Wells frowned. "The Gora? We haven't encountered them yet." "Pray that you don't," the Mekthar said. "But if you do, you must know this. Never allow your people to be captured. The Gora will execute humans immediately upon capture." Wells felt a chill run down her spine. "Why would they do that? We've done nothing to them." The Mekthar's middle eye blinked rapidly. "It is not out of cruelty, but necessity, as they see it." "I don't understand." The old alien leaned closer. "Your words are weapons you don't know you're wielding." "Our words? You mean our language." The Mekthar seemed about to explain further when another alien approached. This one was tall and insect-like, with compound eyes and clicking mandibles. The Mekthar immediately straightened up. "We will speak no more of this," it whispered. "Be careful, human. Some here already fear your kind." The Mekthar shuffled away, leaving Wells confused and concerned. She rejoined Bennett, who was speaking with a group of friendly plant-based aliens. "Everything okay?" Bennett asked. "I'm not sure," Wells replied. "I just received what sounded like a warning about some species called the Gora." The rest of the summit passed without incident, but Wells noticed more and more how other species seemed to keep their distance from the human delegation. Some would only communicate through written messages, avoiding spoken conversation entirely. After returning to Earth, Wells filed her report with Earth Command. She included every detail of the strange warning from the Mekthar representative. "It doesn't make sense," said General Howard during the debriefing. "Why would anyone execute prisoners just for speaking?" "I don't know, sir," Wells replied. "But I believe the warning was genuine." Earth Command increased military readiness, but continued diplomatic efforts with alien civilizations. Meanwhile, medical reports began to circulate among human doctors working with alien species. The reports described strange neurological symptoms appearing in aliens after extended conversations with humans. Dr. Ben Martinez, a xenobiologist at the Mars Research Center, compiled these cases. In his office, he stared at the brain scans of a Viridian diplomat who had collapsed after a 3-hour negotiation session with human representatives. "What are we doing to them?" he whispered to himself, noting the unusual patterns of activity across the alien's neural centers. The Viridian's brain looked like it had suffered a massive seizure, but no human involved had done anything except talk. In deep space, a human research vessel named Horizon was about to make a discovery that would answer these questions in the worst possible way. Captain Paul Garcia stood on the bridge of the research vessel Horizon watching the stars through the main viewport. They were mapping an unexplored region near the edge of what Earth charts labeled as disputed space. The mission was supposed to be routine. "Captain, I'm picking up something on long-range scanners," said Officer Ryan Davis from his station. "3 ships, approaching fast." Garcia frowned. "Can you identify them?" "No known configuration in our database," Davis replied. "But they're big. Military vessels, by the look of them." Communications Officer Lisa Reyes turned in her chair. "Should I attempt contact, sir?" Garcia nodded. "Standard greeting protocol. Let them know we're a research vessel on a peaceful mission." Reyes sent the message, then waited. The bridge crew watched as the 3 alien ships drew closer. They were dark, angular vessels with what appeared to be heavy weapons mounted on their hulls. "No response to our hail," Reyes reported. "Try again," Garcia ordered. "All frequencies." Reyes tried repeatedly, but the approaching ships remained silent. They spread out, surrounding the Horizon. "They're boxing us in," said First Officer Dan Kelly. "We should power up weapons." Garcia raised a hand. "Not yet. We don't want to appear hostile." He turned to Reyes. "One more try. Tell them we mean no harm and will leave their territory immediately." Before Reyes could send the message, a beam of energy shot from one of the alien ships. It wasn't aimed at the Horizon, but created a field around them. "Engine power dropping," Davis reported. "They've caught us in some kind of dampening field." "We're being boarded," Kelly announced as sensors detected a smaller craft leaving one of the alien vessels. "Security teams to all decks." Garcia knew they were outmatched. The Horizon was not a warship. "All crew, this is the captain. Do not resist. I repeat, do not resist. These may be the Gora we were warned about." The boarding craft docked with a heavy thud. Minutes later, the bridge doors slid open. 6 tall, armored figures entered. Their suits covered them completely, with dark helmets that revealed nothing of their faces. Garcia stood up slowly, hands raised. "I am Captain Paul Garcia of the Earth research vessel Horizon. We are on a peaceful mission and will cooperate fully." The lead Gora soldier raised what was clearly a weapon. Without hesitation, it fired at Garcia. He fell to the deck, dead instantly. The bridge crew froze in shock. The Gora moved methodically around the room. "Please," Kelly began. "We surrender." The Gora shot him mid-sentence. Reyes ducked beneath her console as chaos erupted. The Gora weren't asking questions or making demands. They were simply executing anyone who spoke. From her hiding place, Reyes watched in horror. One crew member, Engineer Joe Miller, seemed to understand what was happening. He remained completely silent, hands raised, as a Gora approached him. The Gora soldier paused, its weapon lowered slightly. It tilted its head as if listening to something through its helmet. Then, with what seemed like reluctance, it raised its weapon again and fired. Reyes managed to slip into a maintenance conduit behind the communications station. She activated her personal recorder, capturing everything she could see through the small opening. The Gora moved through the ship with the same pattern. Anyone who spoke was killed immediately. Those who remained silent were briefly spared, then executed anyway after the Gora received what appeared to be orders through their helmets. When it was over, only 3 crew members survived, all maintenance workers who had hidden in a sealed compartment and remained completely silent throughout the attack. The Gora left as quickly as they had come, taking nothing from the ship. Rise emerged from hiding, trembling. She moved to the captain's chair and activated the emergency beacon. Then she played back her recording, watching the systematic execution of her friends and colleagues. In the final moments of the recording, she noticed something she had missed before. The Gora weren't just wearing armor. Their helmets contained complex technology around what would be their ears, and their visors were designed to block direct eye contact. It wasn't environment suits they were wearing. It was protection. Dr. Alan Foster stared at the screen, watching the recording from the Horizon for the 12th time. The deaths of so many innocent researchers had shocked Earth. The question on everyone's mind was simple. Why? Foster was Earth's leading xenolinguist, an expert in alien languages and communication. He had been called to the Mars Research Center to analyze the footage and find answers. "Play it again," he said to his assistant. "Focus on the Gora who hesitated before shooting Engineer Miller." The assistant nodded and adjusted the controls. The screen showed the armored Gora pausing before the silent, surrendering engineer. "There," Foster said. "That moment of hesitation tells us something. The Gora didn't want to shoot him. It was only after receiving communication through its helmet that it fired. But why kill someone who's silent and surrendering?" asked the assistant. Foster rubbed his tired eyes. "I need to speak with Dr. Wright." Dr. Nicole Wright was a xenoneurologist who studied alien brain patterns. For the past 3 months, she had been investigating reports of neurological problems among aliens who had extended contact with humans. Foster found her in her lab, examining brain scans. "Nicole, I need your help with the Horizon footage," he said. Wright looked up from her work. "I was about to call you. I think our research projects are connected." She led Foster to a large display showing brain scans of various alien species. "These are normal brain patterns for a Viridian," she said, pointing to the first image. "And these are the patterns after a 3-hour conversation with human diplomats." The second image showed bright areas of activity and dark spots that looked like damage. "It looks like a seizure," Foster said. "Exactly," Wright replied. "Now look at these." She showed more scans from different species. Every telepathic or empathic species shows similar patterns after extended conversation with humans. Foster's eyes widened. "Are you saying human speech causes neurological damage to certain aliens?" "Not the speech itself," Wright explained. "Something deeper. I think human language contains subconscious emotional and conceptual layers that overwhelm alien minds not evolved to process them." Foster thought back to his linguistic studies. "Many alien languages we've encountered are very literal. They don't use metaphors or have words with multiple meanings. Humans think nothing of saying 'I'm dying to meet you' or 'my heart sank' or 'time flies,'" Wright said. "But imagine if you literally experienced death, or your heart physically dropping, or time speeding up when you heard those phrases." Foster suddenly understood. "And the Gora are highly empathic," Wright finished. "They communicate with each other through subtle empathic cues. Their language has almost no emotional content because they transmit emotions directly." Foster turned back to the footage of the Horizon attack. "Those aren't environment suits they're wearing. They're neural dampening helmets to protect themselves from human speech." Wright nodded. The Gora who hesitated was sensing no empathic output from the silent engineer, but its superiors ordered the execution anyway. "Because even a silent human is dangerous if they start to speak," Foster said quietly. They worked through the night, compiling their findings. By morning, they had a theory that explained everything. Human speech was weaponized, fought to empathic species. Every word carried emotional and conceptual baggage that overwhelmed alien neural systems. Foster prepared his report for Earth Command. "We need to classify this information immediately," he told Wright. "If word gets out that human speech can damage alien minds, it could cause panic, or worse, some might want to use it as a weapon." Wright looked troubled. "It may be too late for that. The Gora clearly already know. That's why they execute humans on sight." As Foster sent his report, an alert came through on the emergency channel. A Gora fleet had been detected near the colony on New Anchorage. The first war between humans and Gora had begun, and Earth was scrambling to find a defense against an enemy that feared human words more than human weapons. Major Frank Collins checked his equipment one last time. His special operations team had been training for weeks, but nothing could truly prepare them for what they were about to do. "Everyone clear on the mission?" he asked the 12 soldiers gathered around him. They nodded. Each soldier carried a standard rifle and a new device called a voice projector. The small, speaker-like tool had been rushed into production after Foster and Wright's discovery. "Remember, use the voice projectors only as a last resort," Collins said. "We still don't fully understand their effects." The colony on New Anchorage was under attack. 3 Gora warships had appeared in orbit 2 days ago. Ground forces had landed and were moving toward the main settlement. Collins and his team had been sent to test the new language effect against the Gora in real combat. Their transport ship landed in a forest clearing 5 miles from the front line. "Move out," Collins ordered. The team advanced silently through the alien forest. The trees on New Anchorage were tall with blue leaves that cast strange shadows. In the distance, they could hear the sounds of battle. They reached a ridge overlooking a small valley. Below them, a group of colonists were pinned down by Gora soldiers. The colonists had taken cover in a damaged building, but they were surrounded. "Perfect test case," said Lieutenant Laura Green, Collins' second-in-command. "Small enough group to contain if something goes wrong." Collins raised his hand, signaling the team to spread out along the ridge. Each soldier took position and readied their voice projector. "On my mark," Collins said into his comm. Standard greeting phrase only. The team waited as Collins counted down with his fingers. 3, 2, 1. "Hello, we come in peace." All 12 voice projectors broadcast at once, amplifying the simple human greeting to many times its normal volume. The effect was immediate and shocking. The Gora soldiers below staggered, as if struck by a physical blow. Several fell to their knees. 2 ripped their helmets off and collapsed, their bodies twisting in what looked like pain. "My God," whispered Green. "It's working." The remaining Gora tried to retreat, but they moved clumsily, as if drunk or dizzy. The colonists seized the opportunity to escape from the building and run to safety. Collins felt sick as he watched the Gora soldiers writhing on the ground. This wasn't combat. It was something else entirely. "Second phrase," he ordered reluctantly. "Target only the ones still standing." Half the team adjusted their aim and broadcast another simple message. "We wish to communicate with you." The last standing Gora fell instantly. Some lay completely still after that. Others twitched for several minutes before going still. Collins led his team down to check on the fallen enemies. Green scanned them with a medical device. 4 dead, she reported grimly. The others are alive but unconscious. Their neural patterns are chaotic. Collins stared at the voice projector in his hand. "This isn't a weapon. It's a doomsday device." News of the battle spread quickly through human space. Over the next week, similar operations were carried out wherever the Gora attacked. The results were always the same: complete Gora defeat with minimal human casualties. Then a surprising development. 3 previously hostile alien species suddenly requested peace treaties with Earth. "They're afraid of us now," Admiral Clark told Collins during the debriefing. "Word has spread about what human speech can do." "With all due respect, sir, this isn't right," Collins said. "We're not killing them in fair combat. We're causing brain damage with our words." "Would you prefer we lose colonies, lose lives?" the Admiral asked sharply. Collins had no answer. He knew the voice projectors had saved human lives, But the looks on the faces of the Gora as their minds were overwhelmed haunted him. On Earth, debates raged among military leaders, scientists, and ethicists. Some wanted to develop even more powerful voice weapons. Others argued for finding a way to communicate safely. Dr. Foster appeared before the Earth Defense Council with a warning. If we weaponize human speech, we'll never have peace with telepathic species. We need to find another way. But even as he spoke, engineers were designing new and more devastating voice weapons, preparing for a war unlike any humanity had ever fought. Ambassador Olivia Martinez took a deep breath as she prepared to enter the Grand Council chamber. The emergency meeting of the Galactic Council had been called after news spread about the human voice weapons used against the Gora. "Remember, stay calm no matter what they say," her aide Peter Harris whispered. "Many species here are now terrified of humans." Martinez nodded. She had been chosen as Earth's representative because of her background in both diplomacy and xenobiology. She understood what was at stake. The massive doors slid open, revealing a circular room with tiered seating. Representatives from over 30 alien civilizations turned to watch her enter. Many wore protective headgear or sat behind special barriers. In the center of the room stood a circular platform. Martinez walked to it, feeling the weight of hundreds of alien eyes upon her. "The Council recognizes Ambassador Martinez of Earth," announced the Arcturian chairperson, its voice translated through the room's systems. Martinez looked around at the assembled representatives. "Thank you for allowing me to speak. Earth wishes to find a peaceful resolution to the current conflict." A tall plant-like being rose from its seat. "How can there be peace when your species weaponizes basic communication? The Gora report that human speech causes permanent neural damage to telepathic minds." Murmurs spread through the chamber. "What the representative says is true," Martinez admitted. "But there is something you must understand. Until recently, humans had no idea our speech could harm anyone." This caused an even louder reaction. Many representatives spoke at once in their various languages. "Silence," called the chairperson. "Let the human continue." "Humans have no natural telepathic abilities," Martinez explained. "We cannot sense the mental pain we cause. Our language evolved alongside our consciousness, carrying layers of meaning, emotion, and abstract concepts that we process unconsciously." A Mekthar representative spoke next. "Are you claiming that humans have been unknowingly attacking telepathic species for months?" "Yes," Martinez replied. "We had no idea that our ordinary conversations were causing harm." The Gora weren't wearing protective suits. They were wearing neural-dampening helmets to shield themselves from our speech. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. A Gora representative rose. This was the first time any human had seen a Gora without its protective gear. It had pale blue skin, 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern, and delicate tendrils where ears would be on a human. "Your species speaks thoughts that shatter minds," the Gora said through a special translation device. "Your casual conversation is more devastating than your most powerful weapons. When you say the word home, we experience every place you have ever felt safe or unsafe. When you speak of love, we feel every love you have known, lost, imagined, and feared, all at once." Martinez felt a chill run down her spine. "We never meant to cause harm." "Intent does not matter when the damage is so severe," the Gora replied. "This is why we execute humans on capture. A single human prisoner speaking could disable an entire Gora ship." The council erupted in debate again. Some species demanded that humans be quarantined to their own systems. Others suggested mandatory neural dampeners for all humans in shared space. Martinez raised her hands for quiet. "Earth proposes a solution. Our scientists are developing translation technology that filters the harmful elements of human speech when communicating with vulnerable species." She activated a holographic display showing the design for a new device. The neural harmonic translator converts human speech into forms safe for telepathic minds. It removes the emotional and conceptual layers while preserving the basic meaning. The council members studied the design with interest. We ask for a truce while this technology is completed and tested. Martinez continued. In return, Earth will cease all use of voice weapons and restrict human movement in areas with high populations of telepathic species. The Arcturian chairperson called for a vote. After tense minutes of discussion, the council agreed to a fragile truce. As Martinez left the chamber, the Gora representative approached her, still wearing a smaller version of its protective helmet. "We hope your technology works, human," it said quietly. "There is much our species could learn from each other, if only we could safely speak." 1 year later, Dr. Amy Peterson stood nervously in the testing chamber at the Mars Research Center. Today marked the first official dialogue between humans and Gora using the neural harmonic translator she had created. Final checks complete, she announced to the observation team behind the safety glass. The translator is functioning at optimal levels. The door on the opposite side of the room slid open. A Gora representative entered, wearing a lightweight version of their neural protection helmet. It was accompanied by 2 guards who positioned themselves by the door. Peterson smiled and gestured to the chair across from her. "Thank you for coming. I am Dr. Amy Peterson." The Gora sat down gracefully. "I am Ziv Kor, scientific liaison for the Gora Imperium." Between them on the table sat Peterson's invention, a small silver device with soft blue lights pulsing along its surface. Every word they spoke passed through it, filtering out the dangerous emotional and conceptual undertones of human speech before reaching the Gora's sensitive mind. "Can you understand me clearly?" Peterson asked. "Yes," Ziv Kor replied. "Your words come through as pure information, without the storm that usually accompanies human speech." Peterson relaxed slightly. "That's good. The translator is working as designed." For the next hour, they spoke cautiously about simple topics, the differences in their star systems, basic cultural practices, food preferences. With each successful exchange, the tension in the room eased. Finally, Peterson asked the question that had been bothering her for months. "Can you explain exactly what happens when a Gora hears unfiltered human speech?" Ziv Kor tilted its head. After a moment, it reached up and removed its protective helmet completely, a gesture of trust that made the guards by the door shift uncomfortably. "To understand, you must know how Gora perceive the world," Ziv Kor explained. "We are born empaths. We sense the emotions and some surface thoughts of those around us. Our language developed to communicate only facts, because emotions transfer naturally between us." Peterson nodded. "And human language is different." "Human language evolved alongside your consciousness," Ziv Kor continued. "It carries not just words but layers of emotional context, abstract conceptualization, and contradictory meanings. When you speak of love, we experience every love you have known, lost, imagined, and feared all at once. When you speak of home, we are simultaneously in every place you have ever belonged and been estranged from." Peterson was fascinated. "So it's not just the emotions, but the complexity and contradictions." "Yes, human minds contain beautiful impossibilities. You can hold opposing ideas simultaneously. You can be both happy and sad. You can love and hate the same person. This cognitive dissonance is natural to you, but overwhelming to us." For the first time, Peterson truly understood. Humans weren't just translating language. They were learning to modulate the intensity of their consciousness when projecting thoughts outward. "There is something else you should know," Ziv Kor added. "Many telepathic species have been secretly studying humans for decades. We both fear and covet the incredible depth of human thought patterns." "Covet?" Peterson asked, surprised. "Your minds contain multitudes. You dream. You create fiction. You imagine things that never were and never could be. Most telepathic species are simpler, more literal. We sense reality. You transform it." As their meeting concluded, Peterson felt a new understanding between their species beginning to form. What had started as fear was becoming respect and curiosity. 6 months later, Captain John Baker, who had unknowingly harmed the Viridian Zeltor during first contact, stood before a class of cadets at the new Interspecies Communication Academy. The most important lesson in space exploration isn't about alien biology or strange new worlds, he told them, holding up a neural harmonic translator. It's about understanding yourselves. Every word you speak carries the weight of your entire consciousness. In a universe where thoughts can kill, understanding yourself is the first step to understanding others. The cadets looked at their translators with new appreciation. These simple devices had transformed humans from the most feared species in the galaxy to the most sought-after conversation partners. The war was over. A new era of communication had begun.